Hi guys, come on in. Good to be with you guys. I wanted to talk about something that I notice comes up for almost every one of my clients. But before I do, say hello to me, check in, tell me where you're signing in from, and then we're going to talk about this one issue that I feel is a constant in every client's life. And unless we understand how we are doing this to ourselves, we will not break through and go to the next level for ourselves. Most of my clients who come to me with this issue, and I just am amazed at how it keeps showing up. So I want to talk to you about that. So join in, come on in. We're also going to be talking about my book, A Radical Awakening. Go to aradicalawakening.com. Grab the course. It's starting in 2 weeks. Hundreds of women are signing up, and some men, to do the course together and really dive into this book. It's been endorsed by Eckhart Tolle, Alicia Keys, Gabor Mate, Marie Forleo, amongst others. It's a beautiful book about your radical awakening. Hi, London. Romania's in the house. Hi, guys. Hi, Namita. So let's talk about why this one issue keeps coming up for every one of my clients. And you're going to tell me if it comes up for you. Okay? It's really easy, but let's see. So just let me know if you can hear me well. If my sound is clear before I start. Hi, postcard from Australia. Good to meet you here. Hi. Beth, Aryan, sees Jenny from Hong Kong. Hi guys, come on in. Hi, Melanie. Okay, here's the one thing that keeps blocking my clients in their growth. It keeps getting them down. Yesterday I had a meeting with all my coaches from my coaching institute, and they had this issue as well. Beth, you can order my book from aradicalawakening.com. Go to aradicalawakening.com and choose an indie bookstore from aradicalawakening.com. Hi, somebody said they just saw my podcast, heard my podcast at Mind Valley, and they loved it. I'm so happy. So, okay, here's the issue that keeps stumbling every single client of mine. Here it is. They have an expectation that is not being met. Simple. That's it. That's it. They have an expectation in their mind before they begin the goal or the chore or the task or the journey, and the expectation is not met. Boom, right there. I promise you, most of our issues begin with an unmet expectation. I'm always asking my clients, what was your expectation before you began X, Y, or Z? Before you got married, before you started a job, before you went on stage, before you started your client session, before you became a parent? What was your damn expectation? And they're like, I had no expectation. And I'm like, yes, you did. Because you are now falling apart. You had an expectation. And when I begin to work with them and I show them their expectation, the next step is the expectation comes from a should. This should be this way, that should be this way, he should be this way, you should be this way, I should be this way. Yes, we should be honest about our expectation. Beth asks, should we be honest about our expectation? Imagine that we were honest about our expectations. I have high expectations. I expect my partner to do these 5 things. And then your partner is like, I have expectations. I expect my partner to do these 5 things. And then when you can match them, you realize that maybe we're not a good match. Maybe the expectations are unrealistic, but we pretend not to have expectations. See, this is the bullshit we do. We pretend not to have expectations, but then we're grumbling, we're complaining, we're resentful, we're burning out. So let's begin with expectations we have from ourselves. Many of us have expectations of ourselves. We'll be Miss or Mr. Perfect. We'll be rich. We'll be skinny. We'll be, overcompetent, achieving, perfect. We won't fail. So write your expectations down for yourself. And those come from your childhood conditioning around how you think you should be in the world. Right? Basically, we think we should be just amazing. We should never make mistakes. We should know it all. And so then when we're duped or we're betrayed or somebody takes advantage of us or exploits us, then we go into shame, blame, anger. And I always say, who said you shouldn't have been betrayed? Who said you should have been perfect? Who said that? And they're like, my expectation said that? And then I show people that, wow, you are really so full of yourself because you think you should have never made any mistakes. You think you should never have been unconscious. You think nobody should have exploited you because you're so smart. There's no such thing. Each one of us is imperfect. Each one of us makes mistakes. Each one of us is going to get taken for a ride, get exploited, get betrayed because we can only control so much. So having expectations of ourselves is a grand delusion that comes from this narcissism that we should be amazing and that we should be treated amazing and that we should be perfect. And it comes from an infantile fantasy of ourselves. I talk about all this in my book, A Radical Awakening, and I will be covering this in my course. Go to aradicalawakening.com, buy my course. It starts in 2 weeks, and we're going to go deep into this stuff. Or at least get the book for your mother or your sister. Okay, so next is expectations of others. Oh my goodness. Our expectations of others is through the freaking roof, okay? I, being in the public eye a little bit, everyone expects me to be a certain way. That person expects me to be their mother. That person expects me to be the wise guru. I don't know, whatever that means. That person expects me to be an intellectual genius. I don't even know. I get expected from the person down the street to the person in China, all over the place. And I'm pretty much forever not meeting expectations. So I get a lot of judgment, right? Dr. Shefali, people call me stupid, people call me idiotic. Of course, I get a lot of love too. But I also get a lot of judgment. And in the beginning, it used to upset me or hurt me and make me feel really inadequate because I hadn't worked on myself. I didn't know who I was. So another person's opinion mattered a lot. And so I was depressed a lot. I was crying a lot. I wanted to give up. I wanted to let go. I wanted to lash out. I wanted to eat. I wanted to do all sorts of unhealthy things, overeat, because I wanted to hide. Until I realized that the problem is not in other people's expectations. The problem is I don't know myself. So that's one part of succumbing to other people's expectations. Next thing, when you have expectations of other people, which we all do, those expectations are rooted in our own fantasy of how we think they should be. And whoever in the world wakes up and says to themselves, today's a day that I want to meet Dr. Shefali's fantasies, or I want to meet Beth's fantasies. Nobody wakes up wanting to meet your fantasies. Nobody, except a total codependent, enmeshed empath. And you don't want to be around them anyway. Nobody is waking up with the goal to meet your fantasies. Do you know that? But in our lives, we feel that they should wake up to meet our fantasies. They should know how to please us. They should know how to, satisfy us, how to talk to us. They don't wake up thinking, how can I wake up to meet their fantasies? How can I wake up best to meet their expectations? Nobody is waking up with you in their mind. So again, it's your grandiose fantasy that people will wake up to meet your fantasies, your expectations. So having expectations of another person is even more narcissistic than having expectations of yourself. When you have expectations of yourself, it's as if you are this amazing person who should never mess up. Yes, that's narcissistic of you to think that you should never mess up, or that bad things should never happen to you. Recently, somebody very close to me on my team betrayed me, and a part of me was like, why me? Why the hell did this happen to such a nice person like me? But then my wisdom knows better and knows, why not you? You're not special. Shitty, crappy people exist all over. You're not special. You're going to meet shitty, crappy people. And move on. Don't think you're so amazing that you're not going to meet crappy people. And so I could move on because I understand that I can't have expectations just because I think I'm amazing. Number two, when you have expectations of other people, that they should behave a certain way, or that, no, right? You don't have a right to have expectations of anyone else. So right now in your life, make a list of all the expectations you have of yourself, and you're going to see that they're really rooted in all this pressure that you should be amazing. And then make your list of expectations of others, and you're going to see that it's rooted in this fantasy that they should be amazing, because we should all be amazing. We don't live in an amazing world. We live in an unconscious world. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing when there are no humans around. The most amazing parts of this world are nature, parts where no humans are around. And babies and children are amazing. And animals are amazing. Adults, the minute too many adults are in the picture, like Thanksgiving or a wedding, not so amazing. I'm just speaking the truth. Children, amazing. Animals, amazing. Nature without humans, amazing. I went to Costa Rica and I was in the rainforest, and I literally wanted to leave because all I heard were people talking and taking pictures and eating. And I was like, I'm in the rainforest, but I'm having a human-filled experience, and it's messing up because I had an expectation that in the rainforest, we should be in the rainforest. So I wanted to go to the Office of Tourism in Costa Rica, where I have no business to go, and tell them that they should put a sign. When you enter the rainforest, shut the F up. Do not talk. You are in the freaking rainforest. Experience the rainforest. But that was my expectation, thinking that we would be smart enough to know that in the rainforest we don't talk. But that was my expectation. So instead of being upset, I put my headphones on and I listened to calm music so I could drain out the noise, and I took care of myself. Because why have an expectation of anyone else? In the same way, from that to others, we need to take care of ourselves. So you need to ask, what is my expectation? Why do I have this expectation? Is it a legitimate expectation? Often they're not. And how can I meet my own expectation? So in a relationship, it's normal to have expectation. I expect you to clean up after yourself. I expect you to clean your own dishes. I expect. So now I always tell people, when you have an expectation and the other person is not only not meeting it, but you are feeling abused because your expectation is not being met, now you go into level 2 and you go, okay, I need to meet this expectation on my own. I need to create a boundary. So either we eat on paper plates, no one has to clean anything, or I shut the kitchen down, or I leave the stuff there and I go live in another apartment. Yes. You see, so people will tell me, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. And I can't do that. But I can expect. So then I say, then drop the expectation. You only have 2 choices. Change the way you relate to the expectation by creating boundaries, or drop the expectation. Drop it. So figure it out. Where do you want to go? To change it takes effort, right? To create a boundary. Oh, I have to throw out all the cookies. Oh, I have to speak up to my partner. I have to maybe have a conflict. I have to maybe move out. I have to maybe do this. That takes too much effort. So we'd rather just complain about the expectation not being met. So the next one is to drop the expectation. Oh, I don't want to do that either. Okay, you don't want to drop the expectation and you don't want to make the changes to meet your own expectations means, you want to keep complaining. Oh, I get it. Okay, let's complain. I didn't know that the session was about you wanting to complain. Maybe you should have just told me, your expectation is that I hear you complain. So now in my sessions, I always tell people, okay, are you just venting or do you want a solution? I want a solution. And then when I give the solution, it never works because we just get stuck in a roller coaster. Dropping the expectation, does that mean you have given up? It looks like you've given up, but you've gone through the process of trying to change. Let me try to change. Let me try to change the other person. Let me try to change the house. Let me try to change myself. And then when you've not done enough, you can change your reality no matter what, except if it's a biological reality. I can't change the color of my eyes really, except if I want to go for surgery. I can't really change my height. So biological realities we can't change. But let me tell you, any psychological reality, like expectations, we can change. So when I tell people to drop the expectation, it's because they don't want to change the expectation. They don't want to change their reality around the expectation. So that's when I say drop the expectation. But it doesn't mean that you are giving up. It means you are entering acceptance. You are entering equanimity. You're entering power to go, I'm not going to be a slave to my expectation. My greatest priority, you have to tell yourself, is inner peace, is equanimity. How do I get equanimity? And that's what we are chasing, equanimity. But people don't realize that that's the ultimate goal. They think it's about getting the expectation met by person X, Y, or Z. That's never going to work. And that's why we keep complaining, we overeat, we have addictions, because we have false expectations that we have no business having. Like I had false expectations of the Costa Rican rainforest tourism industry that they should put a sign that no one should talk in the rainforest. I had no business demanding that unless I want to move to Costa Rica, become an elected official in the tourism industry, and then make the rule for the rainforest. Was I willing to do that? No. So you see, if I'm not willing to do that, then I have to create the boundary to create my own need being met. And I wore headphones like a good girl. And I shut the F up because it was a false expectation. I wasn't willing to join the tourism industry as an elected official in Costa Rica. I wasn't willing to do anything. I just wanted to complain. Oh, the Costa Ricans are not doing this for me. Oh, people are so noisy. Oh my goodness, how can this be happening? Complain, complain, complain. But when my wise self told me, well, why don't you go do something about it? Why don't you go wait in the tourism industry and go talk to the right person? Why don't you write a letter? I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm just on vacation. So then, I'm like, okay, then stop complaining. Okay, then I'll just wear headphones. You see, it's all in our power, but we don't want to do the work that it takes to go through the process to arrive at peace and equanimity. So if you like my talks and you get something out of it, well then, go take my course at radicalawakening.com. I'm starting in 2 weeks, guys. Hundreds have signed up and you get 3 books for free. Do you not want 3 books included in the course? Well, then go to radicalawakening.com, invest in yourself. It's an hour and a half each day, if not 2 hours, 10 days straight, and you will have a breakthrough, or 2, or 3. You can expect it. It will happen. So take my course, radicalawakening.com. Go buy the book at least. It's my new book coming out next week. radicalawakening.com. I talk about boundaries. I talk about expectations all through the book. It will change your life. Okay, bye guys. See you soon.